Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Pwnery. Its mission, to explore new women, to seek out new life and civilizations, to boldly sleep with what no man has slept with before.
Hello, and you're not dreaming. This is Pwnery's Penny Arcade and the first 30 of Ixion. And I know this game came out about 2.5 months ago or so, but my life got very complicated, and now it's a little less complicated. So now I have time to do what I like to do, and I will give you a 5-part series on Ixion. I don't know how to really describe this. It's almost like SimCity meets Deep Space Nine meets Wing Commander Privateer-ish? I'm sure there's a better way to describe it. But anyway, I've been playing this for probably a week off camera because I wasn't sure if I was going to be good at it or like it or anything. So I wanted to learn it first so I can give you a better explanation throughout the playthrough, because the first time I played this, I made a critical error, and this game is about resource management, resource collection, space management, like buildable space, because you can screw up your build very quickly and it can cascade out of control. And just being a good administrator. So you take the role of the administrator of the Tye-Coon, which is this Deep Space Nine-like living structure ship type thing. And the goal was to spread humanity out into the cosmos because, well, humanity is cancer. It's born, it consumes its host, and if it doesn't spread, it will die with the host. That's the best way to describe it. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I think I'm going to do this in 30-minute chunks, but don't quote me on it because this game is intense in terms of how pedantic you can be and how much you can micromanage your town or your ship, whatever. Anyway, let's get started. I'm going to do a new game because technically I screwed up my second playthrough already too. So I'm no expert at this, but I'm getting better at it. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. I'll allow the theatrics and cutscenes to play through so that way you can actually see what's going on. Otherwise, you'll be just as clueless as I was the first time.
Launch control, we have Tye-Coon clearance for shuttle launch.
The not-so-distant future.
Initiate Stanford protocol.
Clear procedures, check. Guidance go.
Okay, algorithm online.
Batista safety protocol, check.
Launch control to EMB, Charon.
This really reminds me of The Martian, how they do that, where they blink out and they text things for you. Probably my favorite Matt Damon movie. Yeah, it is. I can watch that movie like every day and never be bored of it.
Tye-Coon to EMV Sharon. You have clearance for final approach. EMV Sharon. You have been assigned to Tye-Coon Docking Bay.
That is an
Welcome
intro.
on board, passengers.
Good God. Okay, so here we are in.
Shuttle EMV Sharon is now docked.
This is the
Sector
ring.
1 empowered and pressurized. Munchie decontamination protocol online. Disembarkation authorized. Message to crew members. Welcome on board the Tye-Coon, property of Dolus Aerospace Engineering Corporation. You will soon be given your assignments, but until then, please continue to wait near the docking bay. We hope you have a productive voyage, and would like to thank you for your contribution towards humanity's future. Administrator, I am Eden, the personal assistant installed on board the Tye-Coon. In accordance with the Munchie Protocol, I have been designed to take into consideration your complete psychological profile so that I may more accurately respond to any needs you may have. My primary purpose is to ensure the Tye-Coon's automated systems function efficiently. I will keep track of the tasks that are necessary for you to fulfill your prerogative of reaching Proxima Centauri and carrying out field research, mining operations, manufacturing protocols, and Dolos colonization tests.
Okay.
Administrator, I wanted to introduce you to your first tasks personally. I'm Dolos' cryonics lead, Marduk council member Giovanni Battista. So, let's see. Your first objective will be to begin setting up essential infrastructure aboard the Tye-Coon, meeting the environmental conditions that are required to support your crew. Having laid these foundations, you will then oversee the installation of the Vol engine and perform a short test jump to Proxima Centauri. Upon arrival, your research teams will carry out a brief survey of local space, gather a few rock and coal dust samples, fire up the colonization protocol, begin building the foundations for mankind's future, yada yada yada. And then you'll come back. Now, in order to achieve this, you'll need to familiarize yourself with the Tye-Coon's core functions. It's no big deal. There's the production, stockpiling and distribution of resources, construction, balancing of power output with allocation. Oh, and space exploration, you know, setting out expeditions and all that. Basically, everything needed to establish scientific advancement and harmonious autonomy on board the Tye-Coon following the first test of its Vol engine. Eden's gonna display and keep track of your main objectives. Oh, and Administrator, don't let the position go to your head. Veneer has insisted to center Dolos' focus on the Tye-Coon. But this mission is just in preparation for our next project, the Protagoras. The Marduk Council worked damn hard to pull this mission together ahead of schedule. So, toe the line, do as you're told, and bring the Tye-Coon back in one piece. Leave the grand gestures and saving of mankind from ecosystemic destruction to us, okay? One last word of advice. We don't all think like Veneer Dolos. As of yet, no human law has been officially established amongst the stars. That sounds like an opportunity knocking to me.
Yeah. Means we can sleep with alien chicks. Woo! Okay, so, as I was saying, if you look down here, the Tye-Coon is 6 sectors in a ring, and you start off obviously in Sector 1. This is your docking bay, and this is where your ships will take off and land and bring supplies and whatnot. My first mistake when I played this was I built one down here also, not realizing that that's what this was, because I thought everything external had to be down here. I was wrong. Anyway, this is your hull integrity. So right now the ship is in perfect, pristine condition. you can have events that permanently damage the ship and will not allow the hit points to be a maximum of 1,000 anymore. You also have to balance your, I'm going to pause it real quick. You have to balance your intake of resources because you have to also maintain the ship. You have to create a piece of hardware that actually maintains the ship and the hull integrity. And if it drops to 0, you obviously die, and humanity is doomed because, well, you'll see. Anyway, this is the trust of the administrator. So I have 85 colonists right now, and it says that they're all happy because everything is over certain criteria, and this can change based on your conditions. If it's too cramped, if they're not fed enough, yada yada. Conditions optimal because we have more workers, and eventually it's going to say that we don't have enough workspace or living space. So you want to balance living space, workspace, food intake, you know, obvious things, right? So because the corporation gave us the ship to administer, they also left materials for us to get started because we obviously don't have the means of searching, exploring, mining, etc. So the first thing you're probably going to want to do is go through the tutorial, right? It gives you the basic information about camera controls and the buildings, like the cost of buildings, the different sectors and how to move between them, and managing your time control, obviously. I've already gone through all these, so it's kind of just redundant for me, but you know, if you get the game, then I would definitely recommend you go through those and take a look at them. And if you hear a bunch of howling, it's because I cannot have a single recording ever without doggo interruption. My apologies if you hear it. Anyway, so the first thing we got to do is we're going to have to build a network of roads to get to the materials, and we're going to have to build stockpiles to be able to actually do things with said materials. So what I'm probably going to do is all the stuff is basically sitting right within my reach for a couple of the basic necessities. So we're probably going to put together a stockpile first, and what you're going to notice is it'll tell you the size of it. So for instance, this says 4x4 at the top right corner, so you can get an idea of how the grid layout will work. And when you click this item, it will show you, you know, the grid layout. So we get one for free because obviously we have to get started, and you can't cross past this, obviously, this section here, but you also don't want to block the exits, which are here, 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 and here, to get to the next section. You can block 3 out of 4, I think, and probably be okay, but you're going to want to be mindful of, obviously, space management, living and usable building space management, because otherwise what will happen is you will over-colonize the area, and you may not have the materials to go and unlock the next sector, and then when you do unlock the next sector, you have to be able to manage each sector individually until you can unlock the ability to transfer materials between sectors. I'm kind of annoyed by that idea because it really hamstrings your progress, but they must have done it for a reason. So anyway, what we're going to do first is we're going to build the stockpile. We get a free one, so I believe it builds instantly for this first one. A resource has not been selected, so I need this to house steel, obviously, because we're going to have to be building things with steel. And I want to build a road network to it. So if you see these little gold arrows, to be able to process, accumulate, or move things about, you have to put the road network to these items. Makes sense, right? Another thing that I've sort of found out as I began to play is you're also going to want living space, but you don't always have to have roads to the living spaces. You can build a road to build it, and then once you build it, you can actually get rid of the road. I've done that in several of my playthroughs so far. So this is the population management. We're obviously in Sector 1 only, so I'm not going to migrate anything yet. But this is just giving you an idea how it looks. This tells you your total population versus the number of workers. It tells you your total housing capacity, which we have 0, and all our people are homeless. We're going to want to resolve that quickly before the trust in the administrator starts to drop. So the next thing we're probably going to build is... let's see. We need oh no, we have to build a workshop first. So the workshop is it gives you the ability to start putting things together. And I think what I'll do is I'm going to rotate this so it shares the road, like so. And then we can we've handled these conditions. Connect the workshop to a road. Well, we already did that, and we connected the stockpile to a supply. So as soon as I unpause the game, it'll go ahead and give us credit for that, I believe. So let's go ahead and take a look. Yeah. So the other thing is it's connected to a supply because there's a road network there, so we can start moving materials there. It's push to pause, so you can hit the space bar, so that way you can sort of take account what you're doing, then you don't find yourself shorthanded or shortchanged. So this is the construction. We have the workshop and the stockpile already built. We're going to need to build another stockpile for our food, obviously. We're going to have to start thinking about how we're going to feed the people because we only have 60 food. And you want to manage your population so you don't outpace your food intake. Otherwise, you will be screwed on a level you can't fully comprehend. It sucks. This is the docking bay, which I believe that's what this is, right? Yeah, we already have a docking bay. So my advice, do not build a second one. You don't need two in one sector. At least not right now. Factories, we want to build a tech lab. What this does is it begins to unlock your technologies, so we're going to definitely want that. And I think what I'll do is I'm going to try to clump everything tightly together, because in my other build I sort of spread out a little too far too fast, and I ended up with a lot of unused space that were like 1x3s or 2x6s, and you can't really do a lot with that. So you definitely want to manage your building space. If you have materials in the way like this, you can see those red boxes there. Obviously I cannot build anything in this space yet. So before we build this particular piece, I want to build a road that connects all of this material. And we may end up tearing out the road afterwards, but we have to get the material out regardless. So we're going to be picking up a lot of steel. I'm still going to need 2 more stockpiles just to be able to take care of this polymer and food. Obviously, we're going to have to start collecting this stuff too. So let's unpause, let them do their thing. I will probably go ahead and build a crew quarters here. Let's see. Ooh. Okay, so I have a 4x3. I want to use as much space as possible. So what I'll probably do is I'll build this up there, and then I'll move the road up to here temporarily, right? So the materials will be able to flow. I'm going to block this entrance too, by the way. I have these 3 down here. Or maybe these aren't exits, but this one is and this one is. I just need one of the 2 to be accessible. I think if you unlock the train that lets you travel between the 2 with materials, then you could probably use these middle ones, but I haven't gotten that far in any of my playthroughs yet, so I can't tell you for certain. So this is being built. And I'm sort of putting the cart ahead of the horse because I know they're going to ask me to do that. Click an alloy icon above a supply to collect the resources. Okay, that's the other thing. I need these materials, so I need to click them to instruct stuff to be harvested. Like so. And I'll go ahead and tell them to pick up all of this stuff too. And I think I only have to build out to about here. I don't want to deal with the polymers just yet. Okay, so our living quarters has been built. Now the next thing I can do...
Administrator, I have established a connection with Dolus's lead data scientist, Emma Klein.
Okay, so we have an event. I guess we have to go talk to Emma Klein.
Administrator, Mr. Dolus has
Can I
made it
pause while she talks?
abundantly
No.
clear when it comes to security. Given the importance of the Tye-Coon, we must have full control over what is happening inside the station. My name is Emma Klein, Dolos's lead data scientist and member of the Marduk Council. My department have just completed final synchronization between Eden and our data treatment tool, the DLS. The DLS, or Data Listening System, is capable of scanning, recording, and parsing exchanges of any kind. The DLS programming that is a part of Eden will filter all data collected and bring to your attention only the most relevant information. It will also provide you with a condensed overview of any situations that may arise and formulate potential future outcomes. It will permit you to give direct orders without having to go through additional unnecessary paperwork. Eden will then take care of everything via their DLS accreditation, as is often the case with tools produced by my department. I think you'll find that once you start using the DLS, you'll never be able to do without it. Oh, and before I let you go ahead and start writing history, Dr. Munchie, our lead medical expert, wanted me to bring to your attention a possible side effect of vol jumping. Whilst there's a correlation between prolonged space travel and the development of early onset dementia, he believes that a vol jump has the potential to accelerate this process, although this is yet to be proven. His recommendation is for you to immediately send any crew members that are exhibiting uncharacteristic or symptomatic behavior to an infirmary, as these facilities are equipped to treat the mind as well as the body.
Very well.
Remember that all of your actions and choices are being recorded by Eden. We are not affiliated with any national or even international organization. The only people that you are answerable to are those of us who sit on the Marduk Council, who represent the collective interests and ambitions of the company.
Fine.
Administrator, a new request awaits your attention.
Okay, so we have a request. Another event. Administrator, Tye-Coon crew members are currently unable to access food supplies. Neocon protocols direct the construction of a mess hall. This building is designed to distribute food from our stockpiles to the crew. Guaranteeing access food supplies will reaffirm our competency as an administrator. Obviously, so we have to build a mess hall. Okay, so communal dining has become a thing. Let's pause right quick, because I wanted to show you what I'm about to do for cramming spaces together. So before I do the construction, if you click on the living space, it'll tell you there are 15 crew members, or this can house 15 crew members. So there's the 15. Eventually you're going to unlock technologies that give you bigger buildings, and then you'll have to start bowling over the old ones and building the new ones. So in the meantime, you know what? That's going to become a problem later, but we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. So for now, what I want to do to maximize my usable space is I want to use the road deletion tool and take out this part of the road. So now that's gone, right? And I want to build another crew quarters right on top, like literally right next to the other one, smacked right into it. So we'll do that. Because we have 85 people. And then I want to build probably a third one here. See, so, oops. So that's nice and tight, all packed together. This road will feed this this colony here in the middle. And technically I don't need that road anymore, but I'm going to leave it because the way I put the stockpile down, I kind of have to keep it there. So we're going to do that, and at the same time we also need to deal with food. So I need to build a mess hall. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this road as it is, and I will build the mess hall and rotate it this way so it's facing this road. I'm trying to maximize all my usable space. So that's going to go there. And I'm still going to need to build another stockpile that's going to be able to do something with the food, clearly. I think. Maybe. Maybe they'll just take it from here and put it straight here. We're about to find out. So I'll go ahead and unpause this. And they have work orders, so what they're going to do is they'll start building the roads first. And they'll start building the buildings next. Right? There you go. And now my busy little workers are doing their thing. So I will have 15, 30, 45. I have 45 of the 85 crew members with housing so far. And I'm still having to plan how I want to do the next stage of building. So, this is where you need to start to make decisions on what you want to do first. For instance, having an infirmary is going to help keep injured crew members alive, obviously. But I still need to make more living space. I need to get the tech lab down as soon as possible, because once we start exploring, we're going to get science. And science will unlock technologies in the tech tree, which you'll see soon enough. But right now we're just going to do the basics, which is food, shelter. We may have to start addressing power soon. But we definitely don't need a docking bay since we have this one, and I keep telling myself don't forget not to do that because I don't need another one. Okay, so the mess hall is complete. I need to go ahead and harvest this, but I need a stockpile assigned to food first. Okay, I kind of knew that was going to be an issue. So, where do I want to put the next stockpile is the question. Because I want to put the tech center basically here. And how many spaces do I have? 3. Okay, well 4. Oh, it's a 4x4. That's no good. If I do it like that. No, it is a 4x4, right? 4. Yeah, it's a 4x4. So I can't do anything until I move this out of the way, which is really annoying. This is how you get around this. You build that there, right? And then you assign it food. Your workers will go off and do their thing, so they'll start building this. One of the other things I discovered is you want to keep the stockpiles of the things that are important to the things, or next to or very close to the things that need that resource at the stockpile. So I want to keep the food as close to the mess hall as possible, and then when we start farming our own food, you want the farms near the stockpile in the mess hall as well, because this is your feeding cycle here, and these people are going to start getting hungry soon. Right now we're in like the honeymoon phase. So they're not really telling us that we have to get this under control yet. Alright, so now I can harvest this. And as soon as this is harvested out, this space will open up. I'll build a new stockpile next to it. And then from there, I'll just use this or I'll tear this one down. But I have to get everything out of the way first because the stockpile will not disappear, so I can't build off of it. And while we wait for that, we'll go ahead and read the transmission. Bonjour.
What a wonderful day to embrace our fate, don't you think? I am Henri Barjaville, writer, philosopher, lobbyist, but most of all member of the Mounted Council. I have taken the liberty of personally arranging an exchange out of courtesy with the Oceanabe, a ship in high orbit belonging to one of our commercial allies, the Ashtongites. Even though they are a small organization, the Ashtongites are important partners who share the same pragmatic, moralistic, and spiritual outlook as we do. The Oceanabe will provide us with a source of food whilst carrying out the Tye-Coon's initial testing. By making it the first exclusive trade partner of the Tiqqun, we will demonstrate to our long-term allies that Dolos wishes for them to share in our successes. Please assign a cargo ship so that we can check the trade routines. Administrator, trust in genetic connectors. Self-similar space will reveal the pattern.
So he wants us to build a cargo ship. Fine, we'll get there in a sec. And then this will talk about exploration. So the Oceanabe is basically like a floating supermarket for now. And we need to collect science points, that way we can actually start researching things as well. And you have to keep in mind that these things take a long time to travel between 2 points. So you may actually start to consider moving the Tye-Coon around, but it's not required yet. So now what I want to do is I want to actually destroy this building. And what it'll do is it'll move all the materials either back into the stockpiles, and hopefully the food is being moved too. Which it is. And you can slowly see it coming apart. I kind of like that whole deconstruction look. So the steel went back here, and the food obviously went back here. Or over here. And then this is the event that feed 100 crew, so... ensure all crew are quartered within 12 cycles. So we're going to have to build more housing too. Go ahead and make that promise. If you don't fulfill the promise, they lose confidence in you, and you will be on the road to screwed.
Overtime!
So this is where they're talking about food cycles, homelessness, non-workers versus workers. You can pause to read this if you'd like, but if you get the game, you'll see it in your tutorial. Okay, so right now it says only 40 of the 85 crew members have housing. So we obviously need to build more housing. This is our timer to do such requests. And let's see, how do I want to do this? Got the food here. Do I want to build the housing right next to the dock? Probably not. I think what I want to continue to do is build the housing on the outskirts and build the important structures in the middle. So what I may end up actually doing is building the housing all the way along the perimeter. I was going to put the tech lab here, but I'll just put it down here somewhere for now. So in the meantime, what I need to do is go to population, and we need to build more housing. So I have 85 people, and we have 3 buildings that should have been 45, but it says only 40 are housed for whatever reason. So I think what I'll do is we'll just build 3 more like this. And then I'll build a road to it temporarily. Oh, you know what? I don't want to do that. Let me cancel these. What I want to do first is I want to delete this part of the road, because we don't need that anymore. Then I can build crew quarters here, here, and here. You see what I did there? I'm maximizing my space. Like, technically, I don't need that roadway over there either, and I probably should have deleted that. Probably. It's fine, whatever. I can make one mistake, right? Alright, and because we're going to overextend our resources here, we're probably going to want to build the road down to here, so that way we can collect this material down here. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest this. Oh, it's already marked for harvest. Okay, so let's go ahead and start that process. Harvest this. What? Right there, dude. Oh, okay. Harvest. Harvest. This is a big one. I don't think I need that much just yet. But I can stockpile it, so it's not a big deal. So we'll go ahead and harvest all of this. That way this living quarters block will be built. The other thing I could probably do is go ahead and delete this road. That way I don't sort of screw myself trying to figure out where I'm going to put things. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is building too many roads and then forgetting that, oh yeah, I don't need those here anymore. Oh, and I guess we're going to have to go an hour just because I didn't realize that 30 minutes was going to go this quickly to only get this far. My mistake. I'm sure you're okay with that though, right? Next episode, we'll go 30s, but this one will have to be a 60. Okay, they fed 85 of the crew already. That's cool. This is your feed cycle, so next time this clicks over, they'll eat food again. So this is gonna dwindle down to the point where they're gonna say, oh, you should probably consider farming or something, but we haven't even got to that point yet. Okay, the other thing I forgot to mention was this is your power consumption, and this is how much available power you have. And if in the event that you need power desperately for something, or you want to stop a building from producing, you would click this, and then you could flip a switch and just turn off that particular draw. So far, though, everything's under control. There we go. So now the crew quarters has been done with 9 cycles to spare. That's pretty good. We need to construct a cargo ship and a science ship. So we'll go here, and I'll need to construct a cargo ship and a science ship. So I'm going to need polymers to do that job, which is this stuff here or this stuff here. Since this is already here, I'll just harvest this one. But obviously we're going to need another stockpile. Yay! Alright. So, in that case, I'll rotate this up here. eventually this road's going to go. I was thinking I was going to connect this straight down, but obviously I can't do that anymore. So what I might do is make long roads with just simple connectors. The other thing we're going to need to consider is if we start getting a bit cramped, like it looks like we lost somebody. I thought it was 85 before. But they're all workers, 84 workers, no non-workers. But whatever, details. Alright, so this needs to be assigned to polymers. And then we'll have to harvest this. That way we can start building the ships. I'm probably going to want to consider what the next set of buildings are going to be too. I'm going to have to build this eventually. Okay, so the other thing I want to get ahead of the game before it tells me I have to do it is, you see that there's 3 views here, right? Here's my power consumption, and the only way to get more power is I obviously have to build solar panels, because we're in space. But first, it's going to show me my ships. Apparently I had 1 extra polymer here. Interesting. Ah, okay, so they're building the ship. So while it's doing that, what I'll do is I will address our future power needs. So we're going to go to Dolos's, or Tye-Coon's external view, as you see here. And what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to construct... Oh, we have to build an Ava airlock. Okay, so that's the thing that actually does the maintenance for the ship. So I can't put the cart before the horse just yet. For now, we have to just do what the game is telling us to do. We're sort of caged in the beginning and intro of what we have to do. And I guess that's fine. That way it prevents you from overextending yourself before you even figured out what to do in the game. I'm still wondering why it gave me 25 polymer here, despite the fact that we built the ship. That's odd. I mean, unless it's stockpiling it for the other ship I want to build. I think that's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was. Now it's building the other ship. Okay, so they're gonna give you a tutorial on harvesting. So mining ships, cargo ships, you can set the priority of what they should go out and get first, and then obviously everything comes to the docking bay. If you do somehow think you need 2 docking bays, the advantage to that is you can have an extra ship of each class, or you can have 3 of one class and really stack it heavy. But for now, I'm just going to leave it with the 1, just because I know I'm really bad at space management, like living space management. So I'm going to let that go ahead and build out, and I'll show you the planetary view here. So we have the science ship needs to go to the moon. That's a requirement, and Mars also is requesting a science ship. And for now, we can see all the planets in the solar system. All except 1, because these bastards don't believe Pluto's a planet. Look at that, jerks. So we have Earth, we have Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus. Yeah. You've always had that one. Anyway, in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're just going to chill here. This is your fleet management button, so it'll show you the 2 ships. This is the name of the ship. I don't think I've ever tried to rename it. I just let it do its thing. And this is where you set the priorities for things you want it to pick up. Frozen people, living people. I don't know what H is. I think it's probably just hydrogen. Food, ice, microchips, silicon, polymers, carbon, steel alloy, and iron, if you wanted to know. So we're still waiting for our science ship. And once that's built, let's just zoom in a bit so you can get a better look at it. it will just kind of float around out here in orbit. And there it goes. Okay. Order the cargo ship to retrieve food via the fleet management window. Fine. Food. So set that as high priority. And then I can look on the map and you'll see that our cargo ship is going to the Urshanabi. And since it's close by, it'll just turn around and come right back. And then there it is unloading its supplies. And since it's a short hop, it just loads and unloads very quickly here. And then off it goes back out to space. So we're doing pretty good. The hull's still in good shape. We still have plenty of power. We still have plenty of trust. We may have plenty of volume. I don't know if that's too loud. I'll replay it before I record the next episode, and I'll adjust it accordingly. So, we need to send a science ship to the moon, or Mars, or Saturn, Jupiter, etc., etc. I think what I want to do is I want to take the road slightly less traveled. Or should we just do what the game is asking us to do? Let's go to Saturn. It's not that far. So I'm going to click the ship, and I'm going to send it to Saturn. It'll tell you that it takes 1.5 cycles for it to arrive, so I'll go ahead and send it there. And yes, I am doing this slightly out of sequence, but it's because of what I know happens later. And I'm just curious if I can sort of preemptively get ahead of something. Or maybe we can just pick up an extra bit of science so that way I have research points stockpiled away. But as you can see, that ship is moving, but it's going to take some time. It said, what, 1.5 cycles? So this will have to go around and half around again. In the meantime, we can just kind of keep an eye on our base. If I want, I could speed up time 3 times. Because we're not losing anything here, technically. I mean, food, but it'll get that ship going a lot quicker, as you can see. And then I'll slow it down just before it gets there.
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
Alright, so we'll check out this event first. A signature trace from an EKP system has been detected near Saturn. EKP technology is the exclusive property of Dolos, but records indicate that the company has not deployed any missions to this sector. The signature will soon enter the atmosphere of Saturn. So, do we want to investigate, or do we want to attempt to locate the debris in orbit? I wonder if we can do both. Sometimes they'll give you enough time to do both. Sometimes you have to make a choice. If I send a team to investigate, we might learn something, but we might lose crew. If I send locate debris in the orbit, I get stuff and things to bring back to base, which would be useful too. So let's do this first and see if it'll allow us to have both, our cake and eat it too, so to speak. So this is going to take 3 cycles. Let me go back to the base right quick. And okay, so we have somebody. There are no health buildings. 0 crew members are injured currently because everyone's happy. Although now I have less people because I had to man the ships. That's something else you need to bear in mind. So right now the conditions are still optimal because we only require 36 workers for the structures we currently have. What I'll probably want to do... It's not requiring this yet, but I know I'm going to need it eventually. Do I want to build this here? Or do I want to do this? That's not a bad idea because I can keep the road going sort of in the same direction. So let me rotate the hospital. Oh, I can't. It's going to screw up the road. Alright, fine. We'll make that road go all the way over with living spaces. Fan. So let's go ahead and build a hospital. Because I think it only costs us steel. And there's still plenty of that around. Matter of fact, I can go ahead and harvest this steel here. Because we definitely need to clear out this space still. We're going to have to start thinking about... I think I'm going to build across the top first and work my way down. Because I always screw up and I start going here and over here and over here, and then I've got all these empty spaces. So right now, while I can keep it high and tight, that's exactly what we're going to do. And even though we don't quite need this yet, you're going to eventually, so you might as well just go ahead and invest in it, since you're just killing time waiting for the research to happen on the science ship. So, still don't have food farms yet. And eventually I'm still going to have to build this. I need to decide where I want to put that, though. I suspect it's going to be somewhere down here. But it doesn't have to be. That's another sort of quandary. Maybe I'll put it down here. Yeah, that doesn't seem like a bad idea. Let's see how much space. Oh, it takes up a lot of space. Maybe there? See, I'm already falling into my classic mistake. I don't need these roads after I loot this. So, let's not build that yet. Although it may become something we're going to want to consider soon. Once I knock out this road...
A science ship team has completed a task.
Good. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and look at this first. We were unable to recover information from the signature's origin, but can confirm that Dolos technology is being utilized by unknown parties. Okay. Ah, so we don't get the stuff and things. See, that was one of those instances where you can't... You have to pick one or the other. Alright, well, let's go up here then and go check out Mars. So we'll send the ship from Saturn to Mars. There it goes. Damn, that was an opportunity lost. But I mean, if they give me these options, I'm going to take them. Like, let's get them over with. I can't do anything with these, so I might as well do with what I got. And technically I might be getting ahead of the missions, so one of two things can happen. I'll do this one, and then it'll give me the next one. Oh, you should check out this. But if I already did, it'll just instantly give me a check mark. Or if it brings it back, maybe it'll give me this option again, and I can exploit double dipping the same place twice. And then we could choose the other option. It's not really cheating if the game gives it to you, right? These are just notifications that were unread. And it goes away. Alright, so I'm gonna have to have another stockpile of steel, I think. I don't know, I need to think about where I want to put that technology center, because I am gonna have to build it soon. Maybe I'll just put it up here. Maybe I'll put it like over here. Rotate this so it's facing the road. Yeah, we can do that. That way I don't have to compromise any roads. And I can get that underway. And since that's going to take 75, I should probably go ahead and tap out this. We're going to need that eventually. Like, you can't progress without it, so cart before the horse. And I think we have more living space. Yeah, see, we have more living space than we have inhabitants now, so that's cool too. That's a big building. Let's go ahead and speed up time a bit, since we're waiting on two different things to happen. One of the reasons I'm insisting on building this now is, even though the game hasn't told me I need to do it, I need to start thinking about food, because this will run out. We're using 8 a cycle,
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
Alright, let me slow this down and let's go check out what's going on in Mars. Okay. The UN has established a facility on Mars. Its crew are currently lacking the materials required to repair a critical fault in their oxygen supply system. They have submitted an official request to Dolos for aid. Okay. So, do I want to do it for resources? They'll give us steel. Or do I want to repair the fault for data, which gives us polymer and steel? I think we're going to do this because if it actually gives us science points too and they just didn't say it, this is going to be more useful because we have a lot of steel right now. We're good. Alright, so the ship has not been assigned. Oh, I need to use the materials. This is what it requires me to do this. Okay. So in that case, do I want resources or data? I think we're going to want the data. So I'm going to do this. I have to assign this ship. So I need to take 10 polymer and 10 steel for transport. So yes, we'll do that. Then the ship will go ahead and load up on that material. So I need 5 more polymer. To get that, I'm going to have to build a road temporarily to here. Once it loads up the materials it needs, then the ship will go do its thing. And I guess since we built that road, I can take out this road. Because we're not going to need that, obviously. And technically I don't need this one either. Keep your workspace clean. Okay, so this facility is still being built. Why are they not building this? They're so busy moving materials. I need y'all to build this road. Like, right meow. Come on, right meow. Oh, I can't because they're building this building. That's probably what it is. Alright, well, let's speed it up. Build it faster. There we go. I can slow that down. And now this will go and build the road. Yep, that's what it was. And we'll need to harvest this, obviously. When the road's complete, it'll go ahead and grab that. Okay, harvest the polymer. That'll go here. 5 will go here. Cargo ship will go to Mars. And then we'll be good and happy. Meanwhile, I can click on this and look at the technology tree. So this is what we already have unlocked so far. As we do all of these, and this and this and this, I need to build a probe launcher, an Ava airlock, and an insect farm. Since food is going to become the thing I need first, we're going to research this. And since I have no science points, I'll just put it in the queue by clicking it and researching it. And once we start getting those points for helping on Mars, we should be able to unlock the insect farm. The next ring will unlock after you research everything in the current ring. In my other playthrough, I'm up to this ring, but I haven't unlocked anything yet, and I think I screwed up that build, so I think that game is going to be a dead end. Which is why we started from scratch here. Well, part of the reason why we started from scratch here. Alright, so that is our cargo ship. It is now on task to go help Mars. So let's speed that up a bit. Sometimes I like doing things out of sequence. These are untapped resources. You might skip something thinking you'll come back to it later and it might not be there anymore, so out of sequence is okay. Alright, so it is at Mars.
The science ship team has completed a task.
Good. And we got 10 science out of it, which is good. And our relationship is improved by 42%. Cool. So now the science ship, since it's not tasked with anything, will collect the science. That instantly goes in your available pool. The cargo ship will head back. I think that's the last thing I can do except go to the moon. There we go. And then I can now send the cargo ship, or the science ship, to the moon, because that's the last thing we have to do in this current setting. You notice our power supply is getting a bit taxed. So this will go back here, and this will go over here. And as you can see, our science is ticking away because we are doing said research here. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough to unlock the farm. I think it needed, yeah, it needed 21. We only got 10. So I guess we're about to find out if I screwed up our build already or not. Alright, let's hurry this along. We're officially out of research points again. Or for the first time, but you will say again many times. There we go. Okay, so the cargo ship has nothing to do yet. Science ship's about to hit Mars. We're 40 cycles in already.
A science ship has arrived.
We have enough food for one more major cycle. Okay, summary of intelligence of the abandoned base. The base is out of commission, auxiliary systems are operational, and can be used to restore power. We have reached the UN base. It is abandoned and depressurized. The surveillance system is still in operation, awaiting orders. So, do we exploit the security vulnerability, or do we dismantle the base? Well, I think we're going to exploit the security first, because it only takes one turn. And we'll speed that along. Fast.
A science ship team has completed a task.
Ah, good. We got 10 more. Done. And see, this one let us do both things. So, we've hacked the main computer system as you ordered and retrieved several relevant research papers and datasets. Cool. Now let's just dismantle the base. Now we'll get the materials and the science! We'll speed that along. Because that takes 2 cycles. Guess I can look at this one. Get those cleared off the queue. Slow this down.
A science ship team has completed.
So now we're collecting the science. And, ooh, we got 90 more plus 30 steel. Although most of the equipment was damaged, we were able to prepare some usable resources. Good. So, this is the basic tutorial on, oh, you should probably build one of these and do this. I've already explained this to you. However, if you want to read on, you can just pause and take a look yourself. Most technologies can be upgraded. The circles above a technology on the tech tree show how many upgrades are currently available. I never noticed that before, but I'm very bad at paying attention to the details. So if I go here, and then I go here, and then I go here, there are no circles. That's probably because none of this stuff is upgradable? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Let's get that science in there. Or as Matt Damon would say, I'm gonna science the shit out of this. We're definitely going to have to do the Ava airlock soon. Okay, there. Now we have an insect farm. And I don't see any circles above this, so I guess it's not upgradable. What about living quarters? No. Apparently. Oh, crew quarters. Here you go. Oh, there are things I can unlock. Additional beds, smart homes. Let's see. The technology tier 3 is required to unlock this. What about this? Technology tier 2 is required to unlock this. How do I do that? The technology tier 2 is required to unlock this. Okay. Do I go here? And then... How do you get technology tier 2? Huh. Side ship? Nope. Maybe I have to unlock everything here before I can do that. I'll have to... Well, no, because what if I do this? No, see, it still says... Okay.
Administrator, I have an incoming transmission from Dolus's head of medicine, Dr. Abhinav Munshi.
Well, that's great, but we're out of time for the day. So this was Ixion, the first 30, which was actually 60. And if you like what you see, I'll leave you a link in the description below. If you're new to my channel, welcome. But if you're a regular here, welcome back. Either way, check out my other playlists and see if my other interest may be of interest to you. This will be a 5-part series, as it used to be. So until the next episode, we'll see you on the next one. Later.